We live in an era where we are more connected than ever, yet we have never felt more inadequate. We wake up and before our feet even touch the floor, we are already measuring our lives against the rest of the world. We see the perfect bodies, the perfect careers, and the perfect homes of people we barely know. This constant stream of information creates a quiet, persistent ache in the back of our minds, a feeling that we are falling behind, that we are missing out, or that we simply aren't enough. Theodore Roosevelt once famously said that comparison is the thief of joy. But in the 21st century, comparison has become more than just a thief. It has become an architect of our daily reality. It shapes how we view our bodies, our bank accounts, and our basic worth as human beings. But to understand why we do this, and more importantly, how to stop it, we have to look past the glowing screens and deep into the evolutionary history of the human mind. We have to understand that our brains weren't designed for a world where everyone's best moments are on 24/7 display. Social comparison is not a modern invention or a sign of vanity. It is a deeply rooted survival mechanism. Thousands of years ago, for our ancestors living in small tribes, knowing where you stood in the social hierarchy was a matter of life and death. If you were too far down the ladder, you might not get enough food. If you were too far outside the group's norms, you risked being exiled. Our brains developed social comparison theory to help us navigate these tribal dynamics. We needed to know, am I doing as well as the person next to me? Am I contributing enough to stay in the tribe? The problem is that our biology hasn't caught up with our technology. Your brain still thinks the tribe is the small group of people you see every day. It doesn't realize that the people you see on Instagram are a curated, filtered, and often artificial representation of reality. Your ancient brain is trying to use tribal survival logic in a global digital arena, and the result is a constant state of status anxiety that never shuts off. The fundamental trap of modern comparison is that it is an apples to oranges comparison. You are comparing your internal mess, your doubts, your bad hair gaze, your financial stresses, and your private struggles with everyone else's external highlights. We forget that what we see online is a finished product, not the process. We see the trophy, but not the years of training. We see the happy couple, but not the arguments in the car on the way to the photo shoot. This creates a psychological distortion where we believe that everyone else has a seamless life, while we are the only ones struggling with the seams. When you scroll through a feed, your brain is performing hundreds of micro comparisons a minute, and because you only see the peaks of other people's lives, you begin to perceive your own normal as a valley. You are playing a rigged game where you judge your entire existence based on a 3-second snapshot of someone else's best day. In psychology, we categorize comparison into two types: upward and downward. Upward comparison is when we look at people we perceive as better than us, which often leads to feelings of inferiority, envy, and low self-esteem. Downward comparison is when we look at those worse off to boost our own ego. While downward comparison might give a temporary hit of superiority, both forms are ultimately toxic because they keep us trapped in a mindset of ranking rather than being. When your self-worth is tied to your rank, it is always fragile. If your happiness depends on being better than someone else, you are at the mercy of everyone else's success. This creates a state of constant hypervigilance where you can never truly be at peace with your own progress. You become like a runner who is so busy looking at the lanes next to them that they lose their balance and forget why they started running in the first place. Comparison doesn't just steal our joy, it steals our identity. It creates a should trap, a list of invisible rules about where we should be at age 30, what our homes should look like, and how our lives should feel. When we spend all our time looking at others, we begin to adopt their goals instead of our own. We start chasing a life that looks good on paper, but feels empty in reality. This is the social proxy effect, where we let the collective opinion of a digital crowd dictate our personal values. We lose the ability to ask ourselves, do I actually want this, or do I just want to be seen as someone who has this? The more we anchor our identity in the expectations of others, the further we drift from our authentic selves. We become performers in our own lives, living for the applause of an audience that isn't even paying as much attention as we think they are. To break free from the comparison trap, we must move from comparison to inspiration. This requires a conscious recalibration of how we consume information. When you see someone else's success, practice mudita, a Buddhist concept meaning sympathetic joy. Instead of seeing their win as your loss, try to see it as proof of what is possible. But even more importantly, you must practice digital hygiene. If certain accounts or people consistently make you feel less than, you have the absolute right to mute, unfollow, or walk away. You wouldn't let a stranger walk into your house and tell you your life is pathetic, so why let them do it through your phone? Another powerful tool is the gratitude audit. Comparison focuses on what is missing. Gratitude focuses on what is present. By intentionally listing the things that are working in your life, you force your brain to switch from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. At the end of the day, the only fair comparison you can ever make is between who you are today and who you were yesterday. Your life is not a competition with 8 billion other people. It is a solo journey. You have a unique set of circumstances, a unique set of traumas, and a unique set of gifts that no one else possesses. Measuring your chapter 5 against someone else's chapter 20 is not just unfair, it's illogical. As you move forward, try to remember that your value is inherent. It is not something that fluctuates based on how many likes you get or how your lifestyle compares to a stranger's. You are a work in progress, and that is enough. The thief of joy only has as much power as you give it. Choose to look inward. Choose to celebrate your own small wins. And most importantly, choose to be the main character of your own story, rather than a background extra in someone else's. Thank you for joining me for this exploration of the comparison trap. If you've been feeling like you're falling behind, I hope this video reminds you that you are exactly where you need to be. The digital world is designed to make us feel incomplete, but your peace is something you can reclaim one choice at a time. If this message resonated with you, please hit the like button and subscribe to stay tuned for more psychological insights. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What is one thing you love about your life right now that doesn't need to be compared to anyone else? Let's build a space where we value authenticity over performance. Put the phone down for a moment, take a breath, and appreciate the path you're on. You're doing better than you think. I'll see you in the next one.